You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the leading top stories. First up, the Greater Orkney and Moqhaka Free State Community March to Harmony Gold for dissatisfaction on solar project, and President Ramaphosa makes changes to his cabinet. In the business news, Moody's affirms South Africa's outlook to stable, and in the sports news, Klaasen gets ready to lead the Proteas. We begin here. Residents of the Orkney in the northwest and Viljoenskroon in the Free State marched to Harmony Gold Mine head offices in Vaal Reefs just outside Orkney in the northwest on Tuesday. They were demanding participation in the mine's procurement system as well as development for their communities. The representative from the Matlosana Black Business Commerce showed the purpose of the march.
Dumelamba ai. Obuangi Comrade Sipo from Kanana, who represent the Matlosana Black Business Chamber of Commerce. We gathered here Mo Vaal Reefs. Our gathering, the purpose of the day, we are here to hand over memorandum to Harmony Management. Releba ahi ba Greater Orkney and Moqhaka. Re bone hole matshwanedi hore re tlise memorandum to this management ya wa Harmony because of the more especially the business people tsa mo motseng wa Greater Orkney and Moqhaka. Hona le project e teng within our area e bitswang ho thwe ke solar project. I think most of the people ba aware ka yona. This solar project e fitlhile tulong ya rona e sa fitla ka tsela e maleba. That is why we raise our frustration. Ha ya fitla ka tsela e maleba bitsong la hore Harmony e appointile company e bitswang ho thwe ke Marian Roberts. Then the same Marian Roberts is also appointed at the other company bitswang ho thwe ke OptiPower. The same OptiPower came with their own subcontracting within our area, even if not considering our local SMMEs, all the service provider within Matlosana and Moqhaka. So now today we are here to hand over the memorandum to the management to show them our frustration pertaining this project. So Remona Relba Ahi, we are going to march to the offices of Harmony, the based mo number 1 mo Muzimuhle. So jwale ka ke boletse Remo ho tlo henda memorandum. We applied a peaceful march. All communities of the affected area are combined here. We assembled here in number 1 Muzimuhle shopping center. From here, from Muzimuhle shopping center, we are going to Harmony offices. So that is why we are here. We are here, and the purpose of the day is to hand over the memorandum. Thank you.
Clifford Khumalo also gave us what was inside the memorandum.
Clifford Khumalo. I'm the convener ya March owner on behalf of Greater Orkney and Moqhaka municipality. I am the residents around Orkney town. Mo elore ke tswa ko mokgatlong also wa Orkney businesses. Re kopane le mekgatlo e mengata ya Viljoenskroon, ya Moqhaka, including le ya Muzimuhle. Purpose re tlileng ka yona mona E1 ke ill treatment re fumanang ho bahiri bana ba ile hore ke ba Harmony, mo ile re fumana hore ba iketsetsa diqeto without even consulting le di communities. Re feel hore as the community e ile hore e dula mo the surrounding area re hatelletswe haholo ke bana ba leng ba emedi ba Harmony, mo ile hore qetellong re fumana ba iketsetsa dintho ntle le ho buisana le rona. Wa ntho nngwe re ka e qohollang re lekile ho bua le bona makgetlo a mangata re le community, because as you follow dintho tse in line le SLP, MPDRA, MRPDA, ke dintho tse le go thola hore ke batho ba le hore tlamehile ba re kgone ho re thusa ho bona hore ha dintho tseo di etsahala re fumana thuso ho tswa ho bona, especially community outreach, ba bona hore batho ba rona le di business sa rona di a hirwa. this time around re ba fumana ba sentse ba latile di-company tse tswang ko ntle without even ba re consulte, and re fumana e le hore jwale re le badudi ha re ya re lo bua le bona ba qetetse ba ebile ba etsa di-arrest for badudi ba rona ba ile hore ba bone hore ba tlamehile ba eme ka maoto. Jwale this time around re tla ka molao ho bona, re batla hore re kgathetse ke ntho e ba e etsang. E nngwe ya dintho e le hore e utlwisa bohloko, company ena e ntsha gauta e ngata ka rona ha e ya rona, mare fela ha hona letho leo re le fumanang from company ena e bitswang Harmony re le badudi ba ka mona. Hona le monna ya kgethuwe mono ya e le hore o tlamehile a buisane le setjhaba, re mo fumana a iketsetsa boithatelo mo e le horeng ke yena a hirang for di-contractor, ke yena a hirang le ha e bang ba sentse ba fumane contractor e tlamehile e nke boikarabelo ba ho hira, ke yena hape a yang mane tlase di-community a ilo hira mo e leng re bona hore le qetelong le dikhiro ka mokgwa di tsamayang ka teng ha di tsamaye ka process tse ntle tse le hore re di tlwaetse hore di be teng. Jwale re ke nako jwale ya hore ba nahane ka committee ya rona. E nngwe re hloka le boemedi bo e leng ke boemedi ba community ya rona, haholo ha re tla ka dikarolong tse tsa rona tse re buang ka di-CLO. They cannot ba re choosetse CLO e le hore ke bahiri. Re batla CLO e le hore e tla kgethwa ke rona re le setjhaba, e le hore e tla etsa boipelaetso ba setjhaba, e emele setjhaba jwalo ka re bona hona jwale ha hona letho la rona le mamelwang ke company ena. Ka mantswe a jwalo ke yona dintho tse re di kopang, re mona re tlile ka setjhaba sa makatlana a namane ho bona hore setjhaba sa rona sa thuseha.
A representative from the Moqhaka in the Free State, Moqhaka, had this to say.
Ke Moqhaka buang ka lebitso. Ho atiseletsa fela mantsweng a mosebetsi mmoho le nna. Lebaka la letsatsi la kajeno le leng fela. Ko lo hand over memorandum ko Harmony. Memorandum o tshwere dintlha di felletse. Ko tlo re bua fela ka ditletlebo tsa baahi ba Greater Orkney le Moqhaka as a whole. Ho bohlokwa hore Harmony e tsebe hore tsela ele kapo nako e le reng isa le ba re tshwere ka yona le tshebediso ya bona kgahlanong le rona kapo ho rona re le baahi ba Moqhaka le Orkney. Re ho lekane. E ba mohlomong ba ka re dumella re dule tafoleng re be dintlha ho ya ka mokgwa re lebelletseng ka teng. Ha ke nahane hore re ka bana le mathata fela mare pele ke mo re yang teng.
Now, the chief whip of the city of Matlosana said this after handing over the memorandum to the Harmony Gold officers. That's Councillor Ndingede.
Of black people and drive the language of companies in the process. We're saying to you, all members of the ANC and the SACP and the rest of the alliance, their primary task is to represent the people, officiate their consent, not to stand in defense of companies that exploit our people. We are here to give you a permission and authorized as leaders of the community that what you did at Moqhaka was revolutionary.
Harmony 13 was born.
And go to jail, and others were used for you to be arrested.
Imagine.
Take those people to task, sue them, so that they can see what they did is wrong. And you are saying, when you're a leader, or you're a public sector representative, or you're a company manager, or you're a police officer, please read the laws and read the court ruling. The court have long overruled the issue of obligation in terms of Section 4 of the Public Gathering Act. The law has been changed to say communities, if they have issues, they have a right to take their issues upon themselves and submit their concerns to their opponents without complying with Section 4. People must learn to read, and our police officers, we love them dearly.
They must read.
Some of them are members of COPRU. We appreciate that. Some of them are members of SAPU. We appreciate
Police
that.
must
But
read.
there is a place called school. Try to read the laws, understand them. Now, what is expected? We we are here before Harmony, and it's not the first time coming here.
Yes,
but it is the
done.
first time when the
Sidiniwe,
relationship
Harmony.
is broken.
Sidiniwe.
The last process match that we did, we closed it at the shopping complex because there was an intention from Harmony to resolve issues. It is for the first time where we ventilated problems and Harmony could not resolve them. We don't know what is exactly pushing them, but we suspect even in this solar plant there is corruption within the plant. We are made to believe that that which has been proposed, that communities are not consulted. I want to deal with consultation so that those who think that they're in leadership understand that, because at least I'm a veteran councillor. When you deal with consultation, companies, private companies, go to municipalities and inform the municipalities that there is this possibility of investment of this much. What is then expected from municipalities is to take those companies to Speaker's office. Speaker's office must be able to see wards that are adjacent to the area where there is going to be development. Call those people, engage them, agree with them, process them. That's how public participation works. There is no public participation done by the executive. Public participation is done by the legislature. In this situation, I was in conversation with the speaker, the acting speaker, Tabosia Begisie. We were in conversation. We picked up that even if this project was sent to the municipality, but it was not communicated to the relevant and appropriate people to engage on the matter. So, this is not the first project. There is another project in Ward 18 of the plant. The consultation and participation was not done to all Mahlosana Kaya Magaza. It was done specifically to those wards nearby the project. Why this project that is in my ward? Everybody in South Africa has been told do something. I want to make it clear that Varif from number 1 up until number 11, those are Varif's mine. They belong to this ward.
Yes, Patali rights.
Even those that are in Kanana, including Kanana as a township, it is a township of Varif. And I want to say, Orkney as a town is a town because there were mines called Varifs and Anglo-American. That's why we're here to say harmony, biasness must be nearby. And we're saying these things without a fear. We are not scared of anybody because we're in line with the law. There is no Mickey Mouse leader that will come here and tell us nonsense.
Black Mickey Mouse leader.
This is
Short and black.
Varif's leadership. There is no leadership that will overrule Varif. Whatever position you occupy, but you can't come to my ward and tell me nonsense. You must come to Ward 21 and Ward 22, engage those communities and give them what belongs to them, instead of you sitting in boardrooms with aircons and risk deals of allocation of tenders without our own people. That must end. Because it is not the decision of the ANC. It is not the decision of the alliance. It's a decision of corrupt individuals that we are working against. We are here again. This is the first, this is the second step. The third step is coming. The fifth step is coming. All the steps are coming. This unemployment, the next step that we're going to do, those who are working in offices, we're going to share hours. Those who are working will work 4 hours. Those who are unemployed must have the other hours. Unemployment is not created by God. It's a man-made. It is created by capitalism. That capitalism must end. Everybody deserves work.
In other news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has reshuffled his cabinet. Former Justice Minister Thembing Kadimeng, who's recently been dogged by links to the VBS Mutual Bank heist, has been moved to the Human Settlements Department. Scrutiny around the minister is linked to a personal loan she took from Gundo Investments, which had been implicated in the looting of the VBS Bank. Former Minister of Human Settlements Mamoloko Kubai, now the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. The former Deputy Minister of Labour and Employment, Phumzile Mgcina, is now the Deputy Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. The last change is the former Deputy Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, Judith Nemadzinga Chabalala, appointed the new Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour. In more news, residents of Basisvlei, located near Lichtenburg in the Ditsobotla local municipality of the Northwest province, have raised significant concerns regarding an extended water shortage in the area. The community reports that they have been without water for 2 weeks, necessitating long journeys to retrieve water from nearby locations. Residents have expressed frustration over the insufficient communication from local authorities regarding the reasons behind the water shortage. The Ngaka Molema District Municipality has not yet provided a response to the residents' concern. One resident noted that there has been no meeting or any form of communication to inform them about the causes of the water shortage. And to this now, as we continue to commemorate 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children, we were joined by Shout-It-Now to give us more details on their services. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much, Philadelphia. Yes, tonight we are back again with yet another PNW exclusive. And every year from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, the world commemorates 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. South Africa is no different. You know, we face this as a crisis. How can we forget 19-year-old Uyinene Mkhwetjana, who was killed on her way to pick up a package at a post office, murdered by a civil servant. And we cannot forget, of course, 22-year-old Karabo Mokoena, brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend. And of course, earlier this year in February, still missing to this day, 6-year-old Jocelyn Smith. And these are the kind of issues we face when women and children face violence. And today, we have very special guests with us. We have Abuti Tabomate. He is the Senior Outreach Officer for Shout-It-Now. We also have Aus Khakamatsora Mutla. She is the Regional Social Work Manager. Welcome to both our guests. Thank you. So as we begin, going right into it, Abuti Tab, I'll start with you. With Shout-It-Now, what would you say motivated the founding of the organization?
Yeah, thank you. Like you Shout-It-Now, we funded to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS, teenage pregnancy, and then gender-based violence services. And then we did what we call through dreams. And then we layer all our clients. The programs in life skills and then biomedical services. The life skills programs. That's a health, their well-being.
How shebile o ka re mission wa lona ke eng?
Okay, mission wa tota go deliver information. Information go basheng ba rona, the services, the support, and then through engaging and safe space. The informed choices concerning their well-being and their health. And we believe in a world where youth are empowered to make best choices for their own health.
Right. So, kia bona nere go nkare ha so bonolo. O tla ona le dilonyana. So how libile ke tsa feng sa o bona di challenges tse nka ga di tla di kganetsa nere kwa nyena.
Tota ha mo ka di kganetsa mare ke ke di sana tse tsa madi go khopa mo tseleng mme ntwa e ke solofela gore ka mokgwa re dirang ka teng ka feletsang e binne the biggest challenge e leng gore re lebagane thata le yone ke ya bašwa ba rona ba re bitsang di-AGYW adolescents girl young women ba e leng gore ke bone ba e leng gore ba affectile thata-thata ke pandemic ya HIV and ke selo se ke tlhoba boroko e tona re lebile kgang ya prevention gantsi ba lebeletse thata ga re bua ka prevention ba lebeletse kgang ya contraception or yone thibela pelegi mme ba lebala botlhokwa ba go itshireletsa kgatlhanong le HIV because tla gopola ga ke simolola ke preventa HIV and AIDS so re fana ka pilisi ya PrEP re fana le ka di-condom distribution so ba tlebe bontsi ba tla ba tsaya contraceptive mara ba sa tseye PrEP and ga simolola tsa contraceptive e already o engage mo thobalanong e sa sireletsegang so o preventa ngwana mara o prevent mogare wa HIV so ke nagana gore re tlo go dira thata ka thata gore re feleletse re kgona gore bana ba re ba tsene mo PrEP-eng ba kgone go thibela pelegi ba thibela le kanamo ya mogare and then kgang e nngwe gape ke education I think especially mo metsemagaeng ka gore go santse go le bothata go bua ka tsa thobalano especially le bana ba dingwaga tsone tseo tse di ko tlase di-programs tsa rona tse re na leng tsone ko Shout-It-Now le community media trust re na le re bitsang SASA e le gore re rotloetsa di-gatekeepers kgotsa di-tribal council kgotsa di-school management team di-SGB go tsena mo teng ga di-programs tseo because ga re setse re thuto e ile ko bagolong ke tsa ga ya go fitlha ko baneng di tlo gona botlhofo thata
ha re ntse ra pele ra itse gore there's different kinds of abuse and batho ba bantsi e tla be nna gore no abuse ke ha motho a mpiditse go bontsha gore motho o biditswe ke yo o biditswe ra mmona no ha nka botsa what are the different kinds of abuse tse di bonang women and children face daily that you deal with
ke tlo simolola ka gore tota go tlhokagala information and gantsi re ke ra ile gore like go tlhalosa gore the only definition ya abuse re lebeletse gore motho go betse go le kanang kang mar abuse e kgolo e leng gore ra e feta gantsi ke emotional e leng gore e influence even the mental challenges and re be le financially re be re na le physically re be re na le mo leng gore o kry-a le gore ge motho a setse a experience those o fitlha mo leng gore o ga kgone go dira ditshwetso tse di siameng and le gore when it comes to financial most of the people ga ba aware gore financial it's also part of abuse so for example re kry-a le gore motho o kgone go tseelwa karata ya SASSA or motho o kgone go tseela bana ba e leng gore ba differently abled karata and so ke financial abuse ka ntle ga tumelano a ke re sengwe le sengwe re se bitsa consent so definition gantsi ba lebelela gore motho go betse go le kanang ka mme maikutlo lona a go betsa le gore a ama monagano a bile gape a dira gore motho a se kry di-choices or decisions tse e leng gore di mo tshwanetse.
So in your experience what would you say ke the root causes tse di ka irang women and children ba itse the most vulnerable in our society in ne bone ba fitlhela ba le the victims of violence?
Ke tlo simolola ka di-cultural norms ke tsone tse e leng gore gantsi re godisa ka tsela e rileng gore lefoko la monna ke tlo fa example lefoko la mo jarate le fela ka ntate mara because of re godisitse yalo re thomolla re gore sengwe le sengwe re se tsaya ka mokgwa re godisitsweng ka teng and ke yone e leng gore e start ka mogare and the community at large. So if now community difference between how one attends a behavior or how one attends a behavior contribute towards gender-based violence and femicide.
So, abuti Thabo, onantsa bua o tshwere mo le mo ka the services mentionile SASSA, but ha ke itse no gona le tse dingwe tse ba bangwe ha ba itse Shout-It-Now so ka re la di offera.
Okay, so di tirelo tsa di fitlhelwa ko dikolo, di fitlhelwa ko di-community tsa rona through our beautiful and colorful mobiles. Re fitlhelwa mo Dr. KK, mo JB Max le ko Makosana, ko Mafikeng re ko Ratlou, re ko Mahikeng local, ko Bojanala re ko Madibeng le ko Moses Kotane. Gauteng o re fitlhela ko Tshwane le ko Ekurhuleng. Di-services tsa rona yaka ne ke tlhalosa kere re di pataganetse re dira le community media trust e ka bokhutswane re bitsang CMT ba ile gore ba focusitse mo di-behavioral or life skills programs. Rona re bereka biomedical services, so the services tsa rona tse di fitlhelelang ko Shout-O ke HIV and AIDS testing, e be e tsamaisana le TB screening le STI screening because I can tsamaisana le malwetse ao. E be re nna le gender-based violence services tse leng gore a o se kgama tsotla tsa ka borutwana ka tsone. E be re nna le di-condom distribution, e be re nna le pilisi e re bitsa PrEP e thibelang mogare wa HIV and AIDS. E be re ba le tsone di-contraceptives, di-injectables le dipilisi. Ditirelo tseo o di fitlhela ko di-trackeng tsa rona around di-district tse tlhano tse ke buileng ka tsone tseo. Mo gare ga dilori tse go na le di-professional nurses, go na le di-social workers, go na le di-health care advisors, and then tsotlhe di na le batsamaisi ba tsone ba re bitsang di-team leaders ka fo gare. Ba rupeletswe go dira thata ka setšhaba, especially AGYW.
So let's touch on the specific services re utlwile ka tsone ya buti Thabang tsa di bua, but ha re lebella tse le gore di specific for women, shall I say, ha ba tla maybe for counseling session, set up e okay e entseng yang go supporta mme o that is a victim of violence.
Okay. Ke tlo simolla ka our funder, which is Dreams. So Dreams, for us to break it down, it says one has to be determined. We empower. One has to be determined. Our AGYW has to be resilient, and they have to be empowered, and then they have to live in a world where it's AIDS-free, and also mentored and also supported. So in that, in our mobiles, renal trucks, we've got the big bus and also trucks. Within those trucks, renally the cubicles. More the cubicles in Moqhaka provided the services from HIV testing and also for PrEP and also for gender-based violence. So those cubicles, they are when the session starts. It simply says that headline the that curtain is to send for you are in a safe space. Right. You are engaging with our our fellow colleagues, which majority of them are from the community, services. And also in the same platform, we make sure confidentiality is adhered to, which is very critical. And from there, we make sure that the same survivor or a victim, they get to be counseled in terms of whatever that they've gone through, and also be linked to other services. For example, we will find a client that will be coming in, an AGYW, and even adolescent boys and young men. We provide services to them. And how ba open up because of ba engage in the same age group. Again, how they are not judged, they're gonna be listened to. And also, but relate as well. So, and then from there, after we identify, because in terms of GBV, what we do first line response. First line response, it means when the client comes through or when the survivor comes through, they have experienced gender-based violence, or that can be an acute case, meaning case one or rape within 72 hours. Or historical cases. One was a rape a year ago, 6 months ago, even 2 years ago. Then because of they are in a state of vulnerability, then a safe space needs to be created. And by so saying is that all the services that are being provided in a safe and secured environment. And then from there, us linking to other partners that we are working with, meaning, for example, the government partners. We are working with social development and also Department of Health. Because the survivors or the victims that are identified, because not all of them are able to open up immediately. So this is where now we've got Chomi. That is a platform that is an information hub whereby the survivor or the victim or even an ordinary person can get informed for them to make decisions. But in that space when the client comes through, it's our duty to also listen to the client, being able to support the client, being able to guide the client. If it's an acute case, it means that that particular survivor or victim, they need immediate intervention. As much as the historical also needs an immediate intervention, depending on each case differ from one another. Then if it's an acute case, it means that we need to take the client to the Tutuzela Care Center for medical intervention. Then, because of at that moment, the client needs other services like long-term psychosocial support, the support for legal services, meaning we need to also empower the client through sharing. Because of now you're going to receive medical intervention, then it will be followed by legal, meaning police open the case and so forth, meaning the case will be good to court. Throughout the process, it means that we need to support the client in conjunction with the partners that we have referred the client to. So this is how we create and support. And then all the cases, what we do is that we do prevention through Q&A session, meaning we go to different schools, different communities, we engage with them. Meaning we share the information, they ask questions, and then we answer. We also capacitate them, share information with them. And then we also deal with post, meaning those that have experienced violence as well. So that's how we engage through the communities as well as the schools through gender-based violence. And also with the help of Chomi, that is the information hub, a platform, is a WhatsApp chatbot, which we use it for one, for example, I'll be sitting here, I have not experienced gender-based violence, but however, I know somebody who has experienced that. So for me, I'll be able to say, this is the information in terms of how can you make sure you package the clothes that, because remember, our body is a crime scene when one has been sexually abused. So it means that the packaging from from whatever that you want, from even in the underwears, we need to package them. How? Are we putting them in plastic or are we? So Chomi, it gives you all the information. And what is the next step? Also, we've got incidents where one will be experiencing gender-based violence within the home, their own home. Then they want to move out of that plays by Lobatla tools. How then do they start? Where do they start? Then we've got in Chomi Chatbot, there's a platform where you are being capacitated on how to prepare things that you're gonna need. Because you need to see are the IDs that they're very important things. The IDs demo, the birth certificate, and even the clothing, and then who to contact, who must assist you. But in the same process, the platform, then one will also get to be linked to the social worker. Being linked, it means that that person was sitting in their own, private space, because not all of the cases, I'm okay. But Chomi, it was built to also reach out to those who are the voiceless, who are unable to talk, because sometimes they feel intimidated and they feel judged, mainly because they might have revealed the information before and they were judged. Now they feel like they are closing in. So Chomi is a platform that they will be able to get information and be linked to the social worker.
Wow. Askhamasoiti, you mentioned a few words, confidentiality. You mentioned that some of the victims, they open up, and what I see is that what is needed is also trust. I think to trust that when I open up a Utitabo, he won't tell the world my issues, and also that when they tell you about the issues, not just attending to the health care, but also there's a legal case, and that can get tiring as a victim, where maybe they reach a point where, is it worth it? Is my case Kiliwani worth it? So that is quite amazing. But as we go forward now, with so many of the services that you offer, it's almost like Muchini wa Arana. Wow, but how do we measure we are a success now because we've done this? How do you measure that success?
Okay, we've got data that speaks to the job that we do, and I remember we also sharing that kind of information with our partners. We do have MOU with Department of Health, we have MOU with Department of Education, and DST, and we have those kind of data that tells us for how since we have started, how many people we have seen and how many cases were actually attended to. And I think that's the only thing that will tell you. And you will also see with the number of, for example, of the follow-ups or retention of the client that we're still keeping in terms of PrEP that we are actually issuing. So yeah, and there's been a lot of good work that we have actually done. And some of these young girls that comes from the behavioral programs that took medical services from Shout are now working as the peer ambassadors for Shout, and this is another milestone that we went, and those are the people that actually sit there and advocate for the journey that they went through a Shout-It-Now, and have actually changed their lives. Yeah.
Earlier, Oscar Hamaso mentioned in this long journey with all these missions that you are on, you're not alone. Sometimes they mix social development and Department of Health. But when you look at the role of Parliament, or shall I say government, what would you say is their role in this fight, in your mission?
I will say, because we are working with government departments, yes, we might be having challenges, but we are still making sure that the mandate that we were given or provided for us to give to the AGYWs and the ABYM is put in place. So why Girialo is because through our engagement, we are making sure that whatever the client is experiencing, we are there to give support. Ke tlo boela gape ko Ntate Thabo a se boletseng gore we also get feedback from Department of Basic Education, as they are our partners, to say, yes, at this particular school there's a high rate of pregnancy, there's a high rate of children that are being abused. But through the linkage, we make sure when we refer, for example, for long-term psychosocial support, because it is inclusive also in some cases with the parents as well. Because remember, it's a three-legged pot. It's the government, the CBOs, and the NGOs. It's the parents and as well as the school. So in that, we're saying throughout we are supporting as well as the government departments. They are also supporting as we are having the memorandum of understanding with them.
Could you just repeat for us those three parts of the three-legged pot?
The three-legged pot is us as the NGOs, government departments that are mandated to assist or to intervene or to provide services to our AGYW and ABYW. The second legged pot is one of the parents. What are the responsibilities of the parents? Because remember, we've got parents-child communication. So, how about least you bana go sekolong? Ga se ba ma-teacher fela. Akere ba tla bana le legae. And then the teacher, they've got a role to play. Hence they are saying, we are identifying issues at school. How then can we come and do intervention? And then we're not only doing intervention, we have to include parents. So hence I'm saying it's a three-legged pot. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so in terms of what would you say is the ways that you would involve boys and men in this fight? Because we know that this campaign really is called No Violence for Women and Children. So what is the place that boys and young men have in helping to prevent these issues?
Yeah, I spoke about our life skills programs, our behavioral programs that we have. So we do have those kind of programs where we do the boys clubs and men's club as well. That's when we talk about how do you treat a woman, how do you avoid gender-based violence. So those programs, I think they come very handy in terms of helping these young boys that are coming and the men that are sitting there in the communities. And heads off to many CBOs or NGOs or organizations, because everybody is stepping up and to say enough is enough with gender-based violence. But I would say it also, come back from Komahai, because we are gender-based violence every day. Speak about it. But if there's no action, how does a person see that? The way we raise Barona is that even if we can come and do as much education as we want to, but if tutor is going to pay, sounds difficult. Sounds difficult. When I live only today, persons are abuser, a girlfriend at the age of 15, at the age of 16. And the survivors, they still cannot report. And that's where the Chomi chatbot come. And then one doesn't have age restriction. It's even national. So you take that number, you put it in your phone, save it as Chomi, and then you speak to the person. Take that number, spread it around to your community, because GBVK, it's a very sensitive issue that it's difficult to speak about. But if you've got Chomi on your phone, then it's you and Chomi. You can talk to Chomi at any time. But as I said, in the boys club and and men's club that we have in our programs is really helping. It's really helping these young men, young boys and men to fight this gender-based violence.
And I'd like to also add to say, you know, it's nice. I usually say, bua le motho ka puo ya kwa bona. Then you're not speaking to the head, you're speaking to the heart. So with Chomi Chatbot, we've got 4 languages currently, which is Setswana, Sizulu, English, is Xhosa. So these 4 languages, it is mainly because geographically, remote northwest, and as well le go Gauteng go bua maleme a farologaneng ke re di concussion. So mo northwest, yes, na le maleme because of na le di mines as well, but majority of the population ba bua Setswana. So we are trying for re kgone gore motho le ge le gore ga tlhaloganye mafoko a mangwe a sekgowa a ba itse o kgone gore ke kry information ka Setswana or ka Xhosa, because not all of us know English. So we are reaching out to those who really, because sometimes previously we will engage with people and say ga ke go utlwa gore o reng di a thetha, by that time o bua Setswana. And then the only way you can see what this person wants the information. So Chomi Chatbot, it's a simple hi. Then all the information will be equipped with information. You will know, because one of our mission is to make sure for people there is engagement in those safe spaces. So Chomi is one of the safe spaces that one who is experiencing gender-based violence and they are unable to open up, then they can engage to Chomi and be linked to support.
Yes. So in terms of engaging the youth, perhaps let's say schools and communities, and promoting awareness about Shout-It-Now and the services that you offer, in what ways would you say you go about that?
Schools, I'll start Kolo, and thanks very much to Department of Basic Education or because I saw AGYW Kolo school management team, the SGB, and then from the parents. And we speak to the parents for parental advocacy. Le gore bagolo ba tlhaloganye gore di services tse re fanang ka tsone ke tse dife. Ga re tsene fela ko sekolong re tla no shot now tlile. So go na di processes tse le gore di followa. And bagolo ba tshwanetse gore ba dumellane le kgang ya gore a di services tseo di tle mo dikolong. From there, the screening tools that we use for vulnerability. Before Patsenza go the program since the learner support agency, the facilitators and mentors from community media trust. And then they will start implementing the programs. And then from there, that's when Shout-It-Now comes in terms of now biomedical intervention. And then the loyalty program that is called Moqhaka for another 15 to 24 years. Because remember that in a category of the behavioral programs or the services go Shout-It-Now. Then only between the age of 15 to 24. Scarf the designer scarf for more from there I will download our iShout app in your phone. The points are what is a Moqhaka. Check out the and then so every time you come to the mobile, you earn points.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. And the more marketplace in Warona, we've got things like toiletry, perfumes. We've got Bluetooth speaker because I told much about Bangatai. Digital watches. There's a lot of things in our marketplace. So you know what gets for both communities and schools. But remember the criteria. You need to be in. You need to attend the programs. Yeah, CMT, behavioral programs. You have to be taking services that was out there, HIV and AIDS testing, PrEP, gender-based violence, and all that. And then you need to be 15 to 24 years. Then you qualify for your congregation. In communities, we work very closely with the tribal councils. Okay. We don't just go to a village and because of the American Department of Health. Then before we go to the village, we go for introduction to the tribal council. We meet with the chief and their council, and then we explain why we are in the area, and then the permission will be granted. And we do it in a way that people understand the reason why we come to offer these services. And we start recruiting these girls from the village. We start with the screening tools as well. You understand? Or vulnerability in Moqhaka. And Honali is another program by Step, entrepreneurial program about 2024 specifically about how to start a business, how to manage a business. It's at 3 months. They attend once a week. Okay. And then after attending the certificate, and then from there they're gonna get a certain amount of money to start their own business. Wow. And then we start monitoring this kind of business to see how far can we go. Most of the girls, they went through those kind of programs, and they've done well. And as I said before, part of those people are our peer ambassadors that are working in Shortage.Shout-It-Now at the moment. They've seen how this works, and it has changed their life. So in essence, that's how we get to these young girls in the communities and in schools.
Wow, that is quite a hand or mouthful, shall I say, of services and issues that you deal with on a daily basis. But as we finish off, our viewers,
I will start by saying it's never too late to create tools. And specifically for those they have experience but they haven't spoken to anyone. Hence, there is an information hub and they can get informed. The number is there, 082-229-6251. And also to say that parents is towards festive. Take care of our young girls and adolescents as well as our adolescent boys and young men, because this is a critical time of the year where we don't pay attention to even our little ones, where they are kidnapped, where they are raped, and then now you find that later the following year my child was raped around festive, and we are still saying that we are here to assist you, to share with you information, to engage with you as parents in terms of guidance. So my last words is to say, take care of those children, learn how to communicate with them as well, because it's very much important, communication. And gender-based violence, please, for those who are able to share even the trauma number, please do that, because it's busy time. So take care of the kids and continue doing a great job.
Yeah. Ke rotloetsa bagolo gore I know gore conversation ya tsa thobalano it's been a difficult one. Let's have the conversation le bana ba rona. Is towards the festive season, the best way is to actually prevent these bad things to happen. To our client that they've been taking services, we are in the communities, come fetch your PrEP, come fetch your contraceptions, so that you know how your December is sorted. Let's make sure we've got enough condoms, and then we play very safe. The number is there. Let's utilize it. Let's make it a habit that we actually report the GBV cases. Those people don't have space in our communities. We want a community that is safe. We want the youth that grows, that becomes better people in the future. Thank you very much for the opportunity granted.
Thank you, Butitabo. Thank you, Skakamatso. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ke Thabo Mate, the Senior Outreach Officer at Shout-It-Now. She is the Regional Social Work Manager. And over the course of this month, we will be having more PNW TV exclusives where we sit down with personalities and organizations and we break down the topics and issues that are most important to you. But until next time, thank you so much. Good night.
In international news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says he wants to see more Nigerian products on South African shelves and greater investment between the two countries. Ramaphosa was making his opening remarks at the South Africa-Nigeria Binational Commission in Parliament. The Binational Commission comes as the two countries mark 3 decades of diplomatic relations established in February of 1994. With that said, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, rating agency Moody's has affirmed its rating on South Africa and kept it on stable outlook, saying it expects low economic growth and a stable government debt ratio of about 80%. While South Africa's economic and fiscal performance could prove better than expected if reforms accelerated, it could also fall short or be reversed. This update comes after rival Standard & Poor Global upped its outlook on South Africa from stable to positive on November 15th, citing improved reform and growth potential. However, S&P's ratings on South Africa is one notch below that of Moody's and is that of the third big global ratings agency, Fitch. And that's all from the business news. Your sports update follows next. In cricket news, Proteas wicket-keeper and batter Heinrich Klaasen is set to lead the T20 side in the absence of Aiden Markram as Anrich Nortje and Tabraiz Shamsi return to the squad to face Pakistan. With Markram currently involved with the Shakira Conrad's Test series against Sri Lanka ending a day before the first T20 international against Pakistan next Tuesday, white ball coach Rob Walter has opted to rest his regular skipper and turned instead to the experience of Klaasen, also sitting out 15-player squad for the 20-over series scheduled from the 10th to the 14th of December. Marco Jansen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada and Tristan Stubbs, all of whom are partaking in the Sri Lanka Red Bull series. Meanwhile, the Proteas will be boosted by the return of senior bowlers Nortje and Shamsi, who have not featured since the T20 World Cup in the West Indies in June. In soccer news, the drawing pots for the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup were announced ahead of Thursday's group stage draw, with Mamelodi Sundowns being placed in pot 4. In pot 1 are the highest ranked teams, including the likes of Manchester City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, with Sundowns qualifying via the ranking pathway, while Al Ahly and Wydad Athletic Club qualified. Previous CAF Champions League winners Mangoeng's side find themselves in pot 4 alongside AS Tunis. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.